So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. So once again, popular musician TUFACE IDIBIA and his actress wife Annie Macaulay are on the news again. Not to forget Pero, his famous baby mama. I'm going to do a very in-depth video on why I think that Annie Macaulay should accept TUFACE's baby mama and why it's in her own interest that everybody gets along. But it's very important for me to lay down the history of these three people, so when I do that video, you would better understand. So in this video, I'm going to be letting you guys know the sad and sorry love story of Annie Macaulay Idibia. Innocent Idibia, popularly known as TUFACE or TUBaba, is a very talented Nigerian musician, producer, songwriter, and entrepreneur. He has this very calm and electrifying personality, and he is known by many for his humility and easy-going nature. He started off his music career back in the 90s from the defunct group Plantation Boys, a group that had him, his high school friend Ahmed, popularly known as Blackface, and Chibuzo, known as Face. TUFACE Idibia was commonly referred to as the Beyonce of the group. His charisma, talent, and vocal strength stood out for him and carved a niche for him in that group. And when the Plantation Boys group disbanded in 2004, there was no doubt, no single question that TUFACE Idibia was going to go ahead and have a beautiful and blossoming solo career. Just as expected, TUFACE went ahead to have a blossoming career as a solo artist. He is the first winner of the MTV Europe Best African Act Award in 2015. He has a BET Award, 4 MTV Africa Music Awards, 4 Channel O Music Video Awards, 5 Headies, 1 Cora Award, 3 Afrima Awards, and a host of others. He's also a brand ambassador for big brands such as Guinness, Oraimo, MTN, Glow, Hennessy, Campari, and a lot of others. So TUFACE can easily be referred to as that Nigerian dream. He is indeed a household name and one that young artists all over the world look up to and emulate. But just as they say, with fame and money comes women and trouble. More trouble, especially for a man who likes women.
I like woman, I dey straightforward.
Despite how impeccable TUFACE's career life is, there is one part of his life which constantly generates controversy: his love life. And of course, his marriage to his long-term girlfriend, now turned wife, actress Annie Macaulay Idibia. Annie Macaulay is an actress, a model, and an entrepreneur, and of course, she's a mother to 2 of TUFACE's 7 children. Gold digger is a word commonly used to categorize women who date famous, rich, and affluent people, right? But not Annie. No, not Annie. Annie is that girl who stood by her man and grinded with her man from the bottom until they grew to the top. It is reported that TUFACE and Annie began dating when she was only 15 and he was in his early 20s. Their romance became public when she starred as the lead model in the video of his record-breaking song African Queen. But long before then, they were already in a very sizzling romance. How Annie, who was that girl from the onset, that girl before the fame and the glam and the glitz, became the woman that bore his 5th and 7th child is a mystery to a lot of people. But in this video, we're going to be uncovering and unraveling all that mystery. So let's go back to their love story. Annie has severally recounted how their early dating years were. And in one particular interview, she gave very deep details of this incident that happened on her 16th birthday party, which held at Alpha Beach in Lagos. TUFACE was there with her and her friends, and they made merry at the beach, and after the party, they all walked to the bus stop. Of course, at that point, none of them were either famous or rich, so they all walked to the bus stop and boarded the bus together. And TUFACE was so benevolent that he catered to the bus fare of everybody in the bus. I think there were about 14 of them there, and the fare was about 2 naira 50 kobo per person, and TUFACE paid for everybody, and she was so, she was so blown away. She was so tripped to know that her man could actually pay 2 naira 50 kobo for everybody in the bus. It was a big deal to her. TUFACE later on revealed in that relationship that that singular gesture cost him a meal. Like, he wasn't able to have dinner that night because he obviously had used everything on him to, to make her happy. So yes, that was the kind of love that Annie and TUFACE had from the onset. That puppy love, that undiluted, raw, unfiltered love. That love that only happens in high school. That love that is not attached to materialism and what you can get from the next person. It was just pure, undiluted love. And that was how they continued. Loving each other, supporting each other, growing with one another until wealth and fame came. And there came also all the turbulence. In the course of their blossoming romance, Annie was dating TUFACE. They were growing together. TUFACE was getting better at his musical career, and they were just forging ahead. And Annie was thinking that maybe someday, in no distant time, TUFACE was going to pop the question, and they were going to get married, have children, and live happily ever after. So thought Annie, but she was in for a shock. On this fateful day, word got out that TUFACE Idibia was romantically involved with 2 other women, Bero Adiniyi and Sumbo Ajala. And not only was there an affair, these 2 women were pregnant for him. This came as a very rude shock to Annie. From what I have recounted so far, you can only imagine how she must have felt. Having a man that you started from the bottom with, from the grass with, managed with, grew with. It's not like you met him in wealth or affluence. You grew up, grew together, tilled the soil with this man. Stuck with him through thick and thin, hoping that someday he was going to solidify the relationship and go on bended knees, ask her to marry him. Every lady would have expected that progression. And that back then it wasn't such a thing. Baby mamaism was not such a thing. It wasn't so common back then for women to just gladly and happily take in for men outside wedlock. It used to be a very shameful thing then. In fact, TUFACE is said to have been the pioneer of that lifestyle in the music industry. He is reputable or reputed to be the person that began to make, having baby mamas here and there a fashionable thing or a thing at all in the music industry. So it was a big deal. It was such a news back then. And going back to Annie was certainly devastated and betrayed. Come on, who wouldn't be? Not just one woman or one child, 2 women, 2 children concurrently at quick successions. That is enough to shatter any woman who is in love. So yes, Annie got very hurt. She was betrayed and she broke up with TUFACE. I wouldn't call it a breakup. I'll call it she took a break because very soon after they got back together, yes, she was so hurt, pained, betrayed, and all of that. But before I go on, it's important for us to have a little knowledge about these 2 women that TUFACE had impregnated despite being in an active, serious, long-term relationship with actress Annie Idibia. The first is Pero Adeniyi, who is said to have come from money. She is the daughter of popular Lagos businessman, multi-millionaire businessman Chief Jide Adeniyi. She was married to a US-based businessman also, Mr. Tunde Borokini, and it was reported that she left her marriage with her businessman husband, Mr. Tunde, to continue a love affair with TUFACE Idibia. Sumbo, on the other hand, met TUFACE when she was in school in Lagos at Yaba. She said that she had just lost her father and was in dire need of any man who would fill up that space and show her love. She was dating TUFACE, and in the process of dating, she discovered that she had fallen pregnant. Sumbo's case is particularly interesting because while dating TUFACE, she was in a serious relationship with another man who she eventually got married to while being pregnant with TUFACE's son, and she kind of put the pregnancy on her husband, but it came to ruins. The marriage came to ruins and crashed when the baby came after the marriage, and the baby was a replica, a split image of TUFACE Idibia. You have to give it up for TUFACE. I don't know where he gets his DNA and his genes from, but all his children are just a photocopy of himself. So Sumbo's marriage with that husband crashed when the evidence was out and it was obvious that he was not the father of her child. So that's a brief history about the two baby mamas. So in 2006, TUFACE went ahead and welcomed his first baby boy with Sumbo, whom they named Nino. And in the same year of 2006, in April, Pero went ahead and welcomed TUFACE's first daughter, who they named Ehi. So there was Pero with his first daughter Ehi, and there was Sumbo with his first son Nino, and there was Annie, his long-term ride-or-die high school sweetheart with no marriage, no child, no assurance, and plenty of heartache. So you can imagine how messy this whole situation was, especially for Annie. One would think that after this incident, our beloved TUFACE would have learned his lesson, repented from his mistakes, having had different babies with different women and betrayed the one woman that had stuck with him when he was nothing. But if you were thinking that that was the case, you better think again, because TUFACE went ahead to welcome the third and fourth baby with these other women. And just as the popular saying goes, that if you cannot beat them, you best join them, Annie joined the train and had a baby for TUFACE Idibia, while she still occupied that position of main chick, and Pero and Sumbo labeled the side chicks. And the baby progression went as thus. Sumbo had Nino in 2006, January 2006. Then Pero went ahead to have Ehi, same year but in April 2006. 2 years later, in 2008, Sumbo went ahead to have another son for TUFACE, which they named Zion. And in that same year of December 2008, Annie had her first child for TUFACE, Isabella, a baby girl. The next year, in 2009, Pero had her second child for TUFACE, a baby boy who was named Justin. And 2 years later, in 2012, she had another baby boy for him, who is TUFACE's namesake, and he was named Innocent. Much later in the years, Annie had TUFACE's seventh and last child, Olivia, a baby girl. So the first baby mama had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. The second one had 2 children, 2 boys, and Annie, the main chick that stuck by him through thick and thin, had 2 other children, 2 baby girls. So while seriously dating Annie, TUFACE had children with other women before her, had children with her, and still went ahead to have another child after hers. And as mad as frustrated as Annie was, she still stayed. So on the 14th of February 2012, TUFACE Idibia finally decided to man up and do the right thing and settle with one woman. And guess who he chose? He chose Annie, his longtime sweetheart. And he proposed to her magically in Soccer Stars Club, JJ Okocha's club, Club 10, in the island of Lagos. So prior to the day of the proposal, TUFACE had earlier visited Annie, extended an olive branch, asked for her forgiveness for everything that he had put her through, and just wanted to clear the air. And who was Annie to say no? He was and is the father of her daughter. As at then, she had one child for him, Isabella. So of course, it was in her own interest and the interest of her child that she accepted his call for friendship, just on a platonic level. So yes, she forgave him, and there they were at that day at the club in Victoria Island. Little did she know that he had something up his sleeves. So he pulled her to a corner of the club, and before she could say jack, he got on bended knees, pulls out the sizzling diamond rings, and asked her to marry him. And he said some words in the line of, "I know we have had our ups and downs, but it will be my heart's desire for you to marry me." So as expected, Annie was so excited. She just busted into tears. After all the turbulence, after all the up and down, after all she has been through, the man finally did the right thing and asked her to marry him. So she was so excited. She accepted his proposal. They proceeded to the registry in Lagos, did their court wedding, went to her hometown at Akwa Ibom, Eket, consummated the traditional wedding there, and jetted off to Dubai, where they held an all-star studded destination white wedding in Dubai. It was all over the internet, and people were so excited. In fact, Annie became like a yardstick for a virtuous woman. Oh, women, be like Annie. Look at how she's stuck by Two-Face. Even when he was promiscuous, she was still there with him, and look at, she earned the prize of being his wife. Drop in the comment section what you think about that statement. I have my own reservations about that statement, but in today's video it's not going to be about my reaction. So drop all your thoughts in the comment section. So far, all I've said about this tumultuous relationship, and your thoughts, what do you think about it? So let me proceed, because this is far from over. Solidifying this union by throwing a wedding might seem like the end of this whole drama, but trust me, the drama continues, because baby mamas are involved and children are also involved. So Sumbo Adeniyi, who bore Two-Face 2 sons, eventually picked up the pieces of her life, found love again, moved on, and got remarried to her pastor husband, who was a widower as at that time, the general overseer of Royalty Church Center, Pastor David Adioye. And she has born 2 kids for her pastor husband, in addition to the 2 sons that she had for Two-Face. And she's fine, she's happy, she's contented, she has moved on. Let's just say she has moved on with her pastor husband. But one who is constantly believed to be an apple of discord and the reason for the constant fights and rifts between Annie and her husband Two-Face remain the mother of his 3 lovely children, Quero Adeniyi. Quero and Annie had never gotten along. They have never been able to see themselves eye to eye. Annie views Quero as that, that pain in the throat, pain in the neck, that bone in the neck that wouldn't just come out or go in. It would just stay stuck there, causing you discomfort and pain. So they kept on feuding back and forth on social media and off social media until this very day in 2018, where there seems to be some sort of public reconciliation. I think it was in one of Two-Face's shows, and Quero and Annie were seen weeping and hugging and cuddling and just forgiving each other, letting all the emotions flow. And Two-Face was there. When 2 elephants fight, the grass suffers. Two-Face was like the grass in the elephant fight. So he was so happy to see his wife and the mother of his 3 children finally reconcile and let everything go, and just take an oath, an indirect oath, to be good and to be cool and to be one big happy family. Or so we thought. So we thought, until a voice note surfaced on the internet in 2021, just last year. And in that voice note, Annie was heard weeping, wailing, and crying profusely, hysterically, calling her husband out and calling Quero, her husband's baby mama, out as well. According to Annie, Quero is in some sort of amorous relationship with her husband. In that voice note, she said that Two-Face went abroad to see his children with Quero and spent the entire holiday in Quero's apartment. Come on, there is no way a man and a woman, they have been through it together. 3 children is not a joke. Some married people don't even have up to 3 children. You know what it means for you to be in a relationship with a woman, that she has the first child for you, the second one for you, the third one for you. It's almost like husband and wife. She feels it's unbelievable and impossible for them to share an apartment without, something going down, something hot and nasty going down. So according to that voice note, she was hot, she was all over the place, she lost control of her emotions, and she was alleging that Quero doesn't want to leave her husband alone. Quero is still sharing intimacy with her husband. Her husband and Quero are not respecting the boundaries. Yes, Quero is his baby mama, they have children, that's fine. They can co-parent, but there should be boundaries, there should be limitations. Two-Face shouldn't go to the United States and spend 2-3 weeks in Quero's apartment when he could as well have rented a hotel. She was upset, she was calling Two-Face out, she was crying, she was raising fire and brimstone that she was going to leave the marriage. She's done with this, she's offended, she's not going to take it again. She has been cheated, she has been humiliated by Two-Face's family. In fact, it was a tell-all, it was a mess. She lost control of her emotions, she couldn't put it together. It was one voice note after the other, one Instagram post after the other, and people were screaming, oh my God, someone take Annie's phone from her. But she had gotten to her elastic limit and she couldn't hold it any longer. And with that public outcry, once again, everybody knew that all was not well when it came to Two-Face, his marriage, and his love life. Although Annie has come out to apologize for her emotional breakdown and hysterical display on social media, and they had gone ahead to renew their vows. Yes, they just had their 10th year wedding anniversary in 2022. Remember that they got married in 2012. They went ahead to renew their vows, said all the love words. She even told TUFACE on camera that she couldn't live or breathe without him. She is hopelessly and helplessly in love with him. It was also beautiful. Despite all of this has happened, it is still very obvious that Annie has not recovered from the hurt and pain that relationship has cost her. In a very recent interview with the cast of Young, Famous and African, a news, I think it's a South African show, correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, Annie let it all out again. But this time, it was less anger and more emotions. She broke down saying that she would never understand how TUFACE could have made the same mistake twice, and how she would never understand how she was the one that knew him first, yet her first child with him is his fifth. Let's watch briefly.
When you meet someone and then you know them first, and then you wake up, so different people are having babies for him.
Yeah, and then he has 5 kids with other women. How did that happen?
My first child is his fifth.
The love story of Annie Macaulay Idibia and innocent TUFACE Idibia is indeed a turbulent one, and many can categorize it as sad. At this juncture, I would like for us to drop in the comment section what our thoughts are. Do you think that what has happened between Annie and TUFACE is the deepest realistic reflection of love, or do you think it was just stupidity and a refusal to understand and appreciate one's self-worth on Annie's part? Drop all your reactions down in the comments. In my next video, it's going to be a very revealing one, maybe controversial, but I'm going to be talking about why I think it's important for Annie to accept her husband's baby mamas and understands that they will forever be an integral part of his life. It's going to be a very deep and revealing video, and I bet that you don't want to miss it. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe icon, give this video a big thumbs up, drop your reactions down in the comments, and stay glued for that video. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze Peperempe, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.